I think the ICT plays a very essential role. If you look at all the countries in the world, we are all shooting for or envisaging a knowledge-based society. And knowledge-based society actually has a very important role for ICT for three attributes. One is a knowledge-based economy requires an ICT, a vibrant ICT industry to be able to support all the innovative applications. So therefore, Malaysia must shoot for a very, very strong ICT industry. Secondly, Malaysia should cultivate a lot of talent to fuel the requirement for the ICT professionals. So human talent in ICT is a very important attribute towards your Vision 2020. And thirdly is that we should have, apart from the ICT industry, we should have all sectors which would be using ICT to enhance their efficiency, their productivity. And when I talk about sector, we also have to think about the digital divide, that we should have a digitally inclusive society. And once again, we need ICT to be able to bridge that gap and improve the quality of life of our underprivileged. So these are the three attributes why ICT is important to your vision of 2020. Every country, every nation, every economy has an ICT blueprint. In Malaysia, it is part of the Vision 2020. In Hong Kong, we have a Digital 21 for the 21st century. The lessons we learned from there as food for thought for Malaysia, there's an overarching essential ingredient, and that is commitment. Commitment by the top leader, the top echelon of your government. And with that commitment, several attributes would be very important. One is the government should not do it alone. It should have a very strong collaboration with industry, associations like PICCOM or MNCC, as well as the community in terms of professionals, ICT professionals, as well as community organizations. So it's a multi-stakeholder approach that could really make it work. That would be one attribute. Another attribute would be as the growth of human talents. You must have a critical mass of qualified and quality IT professionals in order to have a ICT strategy work. And thirdly, an ICT strategy, though led by the government, but should not only be led by, I call, career civil servants. You must have professionals coming in from the industry to provide a corporate, a business, a trade perspective, such that together with the policymakers, in order to make it work, you must have some very, very strong KPIs, key performance indicators. You have a strategy, you have a number of initiatives, but you should have performance indicators such that your strategies, your initiatives, you will have targets to shoot for and allow a degree of comfort to all the stakeholders. And so therefore, PKI would be very, very important. Okay. All right. Obviously, I do not know sufficiently enough about the Vision 2020. But I would say this. First, as I said before, your EPUs has, this morning I learned, has done a lot of work on your trends, on your gap analysis. And I think based on these, you should be able to come up with some very relevant performance indicators. For example, the contribution to GDP by such a date from the ICT industry, percentage of talent or knowledge workforce, workers in the workforce. So these sort of performance indicators, that's the first one. Secondly, I come back to the point, talent cultivation. You need very talented and relevant ICT professionals from your universities, from your training institutes to fuel the knowledge economy. The third is I'm aware that there is an ASEAN initiative going on, which is AEC, the ASEAN Economic Community, which encourage trade liberalization and among the ASEAN. Now, this would have an impact on your economy and also in particular as well on your ICT industry and your ICT profession. And I think as far as ICT component of the Vision 2020, they should look at what are the implications of AEC, such that you can plan and prepare and formulate initiatives which would be of benefits to your ICT community and your ICT industry.